Hello, everyone, and welcome to a different angle of my room. I kind of wanted to talk about the experience of hyperfixation, and I also kind of just wanted to do this because I think it's fun to make YouTube videos and talk to the camera and shit. And I'm eating some birthday cake Oreos that I got because my birthday is tomorrow. So say happy birthday to me in the comments. You don't have to, but I would like it. Anyway. Oh, I guess I'll just start talking about what I said I was going to talk about, which is the experience of hyperfixation. I do not script my videos. I don't think anyone thought that I did, but, so I want to start putting little talking points, like a list of talking points so that I have like a list. I'm going to do that in the future, but it's also kind of like thrilling to like sit down and be like, what's going to come out? Like, what am I going to say? So I just got worried that I'm talking too loud, but that's fine. I mean, yeah. It's so funny to imagine that I'm like a really famous YouTuber and then and people like will just like notice things that I do. It's just like so interesting. This goes into what I was going to talk about anyway, which I wasn't going to. What am I going to say? I don't know where I was going with that, but if you've taken a gander on my channel before, which is, I'm still doing it, it's like a little joke in my head with myself where I pretend that I have fucking people watching these, because I don't. But anyway, if you're familiar with my channel, which you're probably not, welcome. By the way, subscribe. It's guys, I'm not a YouTuber, but I could be, and I might be. What am I saying? What I'm saying is that I think it is hilarious to act like a YouTuber. Like I'm doing a bit by acting like a YouTuber, but I literally also am making a video and putting it on YouTube. So it's kind of like a meta joke. Let me know if you get it. And that's a reference as well to my first video, which I made literally a week ago or something. Guys, this is funny. Anyway. If you've taken a gander on my channel, CSlug67, put a pin in that, maybe. I was literally watching a video earlier where they kept saying put a pin in that, so that's coming out as well. But welcome to CSlug67. I can explain I'll do it like a short video explaining my username, because why the fuck not? I'll do that in a different video. So subscribe and hit the bell. Oh man. Like I'm not gonna stop you, but I don't care. I just think it's funny to act like a YouTuber. But anyway. God, how have I started this sentence so many times? If you've looked at my channel before, you know that I posted a video that's called like talking about Dan and Phil and the Terrible Influence tour and like parasocial relationships. So like, you know, I think about Dan and Phil, but I feel like people don't talk about the experience of hyperfixation and how much of like an intense experience it is in your mind. I was talking about this with my friends last night, and they were like, one of them got it and one of them didn't, and it was funny because the one that didn't get it would try to come up with examples that were like so like normal compared to what I feel like is going on in my mind. He would be like, sometimes I really want to watch these YouTube videos, but I usually just like do it in the hour before I go to bed. I'm like, okay, that's literally so normal. That's not what I'm talking about. By the way, in case anyone's trying to dox me, I got this at a thrift store. So I'm not part of the Brooks family. 2002. Um, yeah, so I've been having the experience of being hyperfixated on Dan and Phil recently. It's not the first time that it's happened to me, and I do say happened to me. Like, it literally feels like a disease. Like, ugh, my posture is so bad. Oh my god, guys, my posture is so bad. Guys. But, it, like, hurts. It, like, tenses muscle. Whatever. Like, if I try to sit up straight, then it just, like, feels uncomfortable because I've had bad posture for so long. Anyway. So, yeah, I had, like, several life events happen that I didn't want to deal with. So it was first, I had like a big thing to do for work that took a lot of energy. And then I went on a trip with my family, and for reasons that I'm not going to get into, I had a lot of anxiety. And then after New Year's, I got sick and I got a bad sinus infection. So there were just like things happening in like my main life. Like the main things happening in my life were like things that it was really stressful to deal with or to try to deal with. And so I turned to hyperfixation, which is a coping mechanism that a lot of people have, I think. But I've always been really good at it, not to brag. I've been really good at basically having something that I'm really obsessed with, and I spend all my thinking energy on that so that I don't have the brain space to be anxious about whatever it is in my personal life that I am anxious about. And I meant to do this like as soon as I thought of this idea, but I put it off because I'm really good at that. But what I've been meaning to do, which I think will actually help a lot, is make a list of all the things that I've been avoiding thinking about by being hyperfixated on Dan and Phil, which is so. There's so many fucking like levels to this. Like, one is that it feels really weird to be hyperfixated on people that are literal people that have lives. Like, I like don't know, like morally, is that okay with me? Like, and so it feels like every time that I like, I don't know, like indulge in that hyperfixation, like watch videos, like look at Instagram, like look at Tumblr. What else do I do? Mostly those things, and then just like experience like the dopamine. Someone told me recently, and I haven't looked this up at all, so I could be lying to you and spreading misinformation, but apparently dopamine is a chemical that like doesn't last very long, and is that right? Yeah, it's like candy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Also, I kind of feel like I don't know. I don't like how I look right now in the frame. This is not much better. Also, my computer light just turned back on because I accidentally hit it with my elbow. I'm gonna keep eating my Oreos. Do you guys eat Oreos like this? This is not correct. It's like I try to. Here, I have another one. I'll show you. Hopefully, but this is how I eat Oreos. Timestamp 9:32 for how I eat Oreos. Oh man, yeah. I sometimes God says no, but I try to split it up, and then I eat the cookie side, and then I eat the Oreo or the creamy side. But sometimes the Oreo doesn't come apart in the right way to do that. I'm so slouchy, but I don't. want to be uncomfortable, and like my body is so used to slouching. We've gone over this. Oh my god, my cat is being so emo right now. She's just like staring at herself in the mirror. What the fuck? That's actually so funny. Anyway, um, yeah, so, oh my god, let's see if I can follow my train of thought. Things I didn't want to think about. I think this is a symptom, honestly, of like my brain getting fucked up by this. Like, I feel like I'm extra distractible because I actually, yeah, that's so true. That's literally so true. Like, I've always been like this, but I think it's worse when I'm like in the hole. But no, I'm not gonna eat. What am I doing? Like, then I'll just be eating on camera, which would be fine, but that's not the content that I'm trying to make. Yeah, because I have been really good at distracting my brain for such a long time. Sorry, I got distracted again because I got a text that said TikTok just like my dad for real. Yeah, if you're watching this right now, you probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, if you're watching this in the future, there used to be this crazy app called TikTok, and it got banned. Why am I doing that? I don't think it's gonna stay banned. But it might. What kind of energy am I putting out into the world? Whatever. Oh good, my battery's sufficiently charged. Who gives a shit? Okay, I'm being overly critical. Okay, I'm starting my story. I'm not gonna cut any of that out. If you made it this far, good job following. And I am I honestly, I can't make any promises that it'll be any easier to follow from now going forward. So when I was doing stressful work stuff and going on a stressful trip with my family, I was trying to avoid my immediate circumstances by mostly reading fan fiction. I so it's this is like what I'm trying to do, but it still feels so like not allowed to just be like, here's my hyperfixations like on the internet. But I actually have to, you know what? I'm gonna make that video maybe. I did a PowerPoint one time about my reviewing my hyperfixations. So I'll probably do a video of that, of me just doing that PowerPoint presentation. But anyway, most recently, I was hyperfixated on Wolfstar. If you don't know what Wolfstar is, it is the ship between Remus, Lupin, and Sirius Black in Harry Potter. And they're, I think they're not the top of like the most, what is that, how would you say that, like not the top ship on AO3, which is Archive of Our Own, which is the main like fan fiction website that everybody uses, but they're pretty consistently the second most popular ship. So I was really into reading. I read this one fic that was, I think the idea was I think I found it on Reddit, and it was like somebody would like recommend me fics that feel like you're reading poetry. So it was kind of like the writing was more like, it was just like it had a vibe. I don't know. Yeah, if anyone's interested in that, I can recommend it to you. Just comment and I'll hit you with that link. But the other one, oh, no. So I was reading this stuff to like avoid focusing on my real life. Got home, New Year's party, woke up. Oh my God. Can I say this on YouTube? Yeah, right? Yeah. I went to a New Year's party at my friend's house and my fucking therapist was there. Um, he left, but it was just like, okay, what the hell? Imagine you walk into the party, you're at the party, and then your therapist walks in, and you just, never mind. You did something for the first time, and then your therapist walks in. Yeah. Honestly, I did great in that situation. I could have panicked so much more. I just told everyone at the party that my therapist was there, and then not literally everyone, but like all my friends and like some random people I didn't know. And I was like, my therapist is here, isn't that fucking insane? And it was. And that is I got off the track again. Yes. I was saying that for a second after New Year's, I thought I was going to get my life together. And I woke up, I went to bed at like 5:30 a.m. and I woke up like after sleeping for like 4 hours. I'm like, I'm going to go out and get breakfast. And I never do that. You will never catch me wake up and be like, I want to leave the house. Like, like, no. But for some reason, New Year's Day, first thing of the year, I wake up and I've gotten no sleep, and I'm like, I'm going to a cafe. I'm gonna have some a breakfast sandwich, and it was not even good, and I wasn't expecting it to be good, but I just thought like that I wanted to do that, and I did. And this isn't even relevant to hyperfixations. Once again, I'm actually gonna fight myself. Anyway, I guess what I wanted to talk about is like the experience. Let's take a shot every time I say the experience of hyperfixation. um, but basically, after my weird New Year's Day burst of energy, I got sick. I think I got strep and then got a sinus infection from the strep throat. Yeah. OG fans of the channel will know that I had a sinus infection. Because I still had it when I made my first video on this channel. But so I felt like either I was like losing interest in reading. You know what it is? Okay, this is actually going to be so controversial in the wolfstar fandom, but what I think made me lose interest in wolfstar, which was my hyperfixation at that time, is that I was reading this fic called The Cadence of Part-Time Poets, and I know everyone loves it, but I don't know, I couldn't get into it. I was on like chapter 20 or something, and like I guess like I wasn't into the writing. I wasn't into, like, there were some things that I did like, but most of it, like, I don't know, the vibes were off. I wish I could put it better. But honestly, like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't feel excited to keep reading it, and then I stopped being obsessed with Wolfstar. So I guess life hack, if you want to stop being obsessed with something, just don't like it. What? I changed my mind and I am gonna eat a cookie because I'm hungry. She will just sleep in the most random place. This is on top of my bookshelf. I have stacks of books that don't fit in the bookshelf. And then on top of the stacks of books, there's a shirt that belongs to my friend. She got to my room. She was like, it's way too hot in here. I'm sweating. And she took off her shirt and then borrowed a t-shirt of mine. And she left her shirt here. My cat has so many great places to sleep. I have a perch for her here. I'm not going to show you we're not doing a room tour today, but perch for her up there. There's a chair here that she really loves to sit on. There is a small pineapple with a hole. You know how cat beds are sometimes? She could sleep in there. She often does. She really likes it there. She likes to sleep in the laundry. She likes to sleep on this cat. You can't see it. Just to a little bit that way from the piano. There is keyboard. There is a... Why am I doing this? There's a little thing for her to fucking sleep on, of course. But yeah. And she doesn't even like that one. She never sleeps there anymore. Now, friendship ended with cat bed. Now, shirt on top of stack of books on top of bookshelf is my best friend. Quote, my cat, 2025. So I was sick. I didn't like the cadence of Part-Time Poets, and I stopped being obsessed with Wolfstar. However, I was still not able to return to being fully present in my life. Not that I am usually fully present in my life, but I'm usually better at it. I have practices. I have I do art journaling that maybe I'll make a video about that too. It's kind of a thing, but I kind of made it up. But I do things. I try to do yoga and I try to have routines and stuff like that. Usually my life is not wake up, think about hyperfixation, do things that I'm obligated to do while taking breaks to look at YouTube or whatever, and then get home, hyperfixate, and almost forget to eat dinner and then go to bed. That's not normally what my life is. That is showing me that that's not good, I don't think. If that's what your life is, I'm so sorry, but I don't think that you're going to feel like your best self in that state. I don't think that I feel like my best self in this haze of hyperfixation, but really I got sick. I was just watching way more YouTube than usual. I was watching Dan and Phil, but I wasn't even obsessed with them in that way. If you're a person who experiences hyperfixation, by the way, I'm not knowledgeable about this. I just experience it, but I don't know the correct terms, and sometimes I use terms like hyperfixate and dissociate in ways that don't line up with their technical definition. I feel like I have my own understanding of those words, or my own version of what they mean sometimes. I think that I'll use dissociate to mean remove my focus from something. It's purposeful, not even necessarily always purposeful, but a knee-jerk kind of distraction. But that's not, I think, what dissociation technically is, but I think a lot of people use it that way. So it's like, it's confusing, words are weird. But what I'm saying is that I experience hyperfixation, but I don't know exactly if what I'm talking about is like the definition of hyperfixation. Because I feel like I've heard maybe that it can mean like you're going through periods of like really intense focus where you like forget about other, like, that your body has needs and stuff. And like, I feel like, I guess that does kind of happen to me, but I'm talking about it more in terms of like going through a period in my life where I'm like extra obsessed with like a specific thing. Like from when I got sick, I started watching Dan and Phil again, but I wasn't even like in that mindset, you know? Like I wasn't like waking up and then thinking about them, which is like so weird to kind of realize that I do. Like it's just like, but it's something that happens. Um this is like, I don't know how I feel about feeling validated by this. But Dan and Phil have talked about hyperfixation before. Phil has basically talked about like the experience of it and like going through, like, I think he was looking at some kind of, oh, it was like he was reading Reddit, and the Reddit post that he was reading was about somebody like somebody's, I hope it's not my friend that's coming over, but I think it's just my roommate. Yeah, because she's not coming over till like 7. Imagine if someone walked in while I was making a YouTube video. Okay. Phil was talking about this Reddit post. He was reading this Reddit post that was basically obviously about a girl being obsessed with Dan and Phil, and a boy, or like somebody who was interested in dating them, I think it was a boy, was like, should I be concerned because I like went on this girl's phone and she has like so many pictures of these 2 British YouTubers? And Phil was basically like, it's normal to have hyperfixations, like you shouldn't be concerned, like that is something that happens to a lot of people. It's happened to me, it's happened to a lot of people I know. I completely understand that experience. And like, okay, maybe this isn't exact, obviously I'm not like quoting him, but like it was something along those lines where he was like, he's been obsessed with like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, whatever. And then but I don't know, like it felt, I'm so annoyed that I like have like respect for famous people, like SMH at myself. But yeah, I could hear my roommate again. But sometimes when somebody that you respect says something, it like means more because they're saying it. This is not new to you, probably, like, you know this, but it is just interesting, and it's like I can observe that in myself, but it doesn't stop it from happening. Like Phil says hyperfixation is okay, so I'm like, oh, hyperfixation is okay, because he's like someone that I look up to and I respect his opinion, which is very confusing, very weird, and I feel like I'm not in control in there, which is part of the experience of hyperfixation that I was like trying to talk about. Like, do I want to just like, I don't know, like spend hours watching YouTube videos instead of like doing stuff that's related to like projects that I want to work on, making art, like, I don't know, like, just like there's a lot of stuff that I feel like I want to do. Like I want to read more, said everyone ever. Like I want to experiment with different kinds of art. I just bought like watercolor paper. Like I have been meaning to collage again for like a long time. But alas, I just sit in my fucking chair over there and watch YouTube. And like, I don't really want to be doing that, but like I also do want to be doing that, and I also feel like I have to be doing it. Like it just like happens, and then I'm like, oh, whoops, like it's been 2 hours. like like, so I don't know, I just wanted to talk about this on YouTube because I don't know, like YouTube is a big part of, like, people experience hyperfixation related to YouTube. And I guess, like, I don't think people talk about it. Oh, and before, just because I remembered about it, Dan's hyperfixation that was mentioned recently on Dan and Phil Games is roller coasters. Bro, I would be so excited if Dan and Phil made a video where they just talk about their hyperfixations. Like, I would eat that the fuck up. But basically, yeah, just like being obsessed with something, thinking about it way too much, using it as a way to kind of dissociate from your life, to distract yourself and think about something that is pretty much guaranteed to give you dopamine, rather than facing things that are like hard to face in reality. But also just like the experience of it being like weird, I guess. Like, it's on the one hand, it's something that happens to so many people. It feels like you have brain worms. You have a disease. You are ill. And you're like, you need to. It's like that meme. Bro, I don't know how to edit videos. If I did, I would put it right here. But it's a meme that was in one of the like Dan and Phil Look at Fan Twitter videos, but it's basically like, I need several hours of watching Dan and Phil or I start to become evil. And like, that's kind of how it feels, but it's more like, I don't know. Like, but I wish it was like less complicated. Like, it's so complicated and confusing. I guess, like, yeah, just being obsessed with something, not really being able to decide what that thing is, because it's just something that like zaps your brain in the right way. And then going really deep into that hole and having a period of your life be defined by that. And then also feeling weird about being so obsessed with that thing, especially if that thing involves real people. Yeah, which is also like why, like, what's so weird about having a hyperfixation on YouTubers is that like they know. At least that's not true about all YouTubers, but like Dan and Phil know that their audience is obsessed with them to like an unusual degree. And like, I don't know, like, it's so funny. Making YouTube videos makes me relate to them so much more, which is so hilarious because I don't have an audience and they do, and that's like a huge difference. But it really like at the beginning of this video when I just was like, I kept saying like, I like that I thought it was hilarious to like act as if I have lore. Like, I get them, they do that because they do have lore and people do care about it. But I always was like, how are you like just like saying this stuff to like make people be like, ah, reference to a thing that I no, because I'm obsessed with this. But like I kind of get how it's fun from the other perspective now, like to be like you're creating like a story kind of, or like a universe, the Dan and Phil cinematic universe, and then you just like point, like there's just like stuff that like recurs, and they seem to have so much fun with that, with like the different like props that are around, or like jokes that go on for a long time. I'm thinking of like the golden pig, or like them naming everything Susan, or like I don't even know. There's just like so many things I don't need to list, like Dan and Phil lore. Like you can go to a different video if you want that. Yeah, so I think that's all I'm gonna say about hyperfixation. I really, yeah, like, guys, like, I get that this is really rambly. And I think I want to try doing like a scripted video soon, where I have a list of things to talk about so I can keep referring to it instead of just being like, oh, and then like what fucking story did I tell? I went off about like Oreos, how to eat Oreos. Yeah, but you're welcome, because that is the correct way to eat Oreos and it's the best possible Oreo experience. So there is that. But yeah, y'all ever get so obsessed with something, and then like if you're honest with people about like what you're thinking about or what you're doing with your time, like they would be like, yikes, but like you need to do it to like get through like a period in your life. Anybody relate? I wish I knew how to edit. I don't even have like a computer. I mean, I have a computer. Like, if you were paying attention, I did actually mention that before in this video. My computer's right here. But it's shit. It's like a $300 Chromebook that I got like 3 years ago, so it's basically like expired. Like the other day, I tried to go on a Zoom meeting on it, and then it just froze and died, and this is my first time trying to use it since then. So I can't edit videos on it. It would just not be able to handle that at all. I might start editing on the iMovie app on my phone, but that seems just kind of like annoying to like try to do. And yeah, but I would like to edit videos eventually. And if I did, like, guys, like, be warned, like, I think that I'm gonna be good at it. Because I have a pretty good sense of what I think is funny on YouTube when people do it. My favorite thing right now, which, yes, it's from Dan and Phil, is when they will put like some word on the screen, like right, in the middle with iMovie, like with that effect that's like sparkly in that funny like girly font. And like the example I'm thinking of right now is like they're talking about like Phil, Dan talks so loud Phil must have like ringing in one ear, the Dan side, and I think Dan says Danitus, which I haven't heard pronounced. I haven't heard it pronounced that way, but I think it's about tinnitus, like when your ears are ringing. But it'd be like Danitis. But I guess maybe in England they pronounce it tinnitus or something weird like that. But they put like Danitus on the screen in that font, and it's just like so silly to like choose a word like that. Like in the most recent video, it was like, am I gonna get put on a list for saying that? It was like he was talking about, oh, this is so interesting actually. Wait, I don't know, like, will my video get taken down if I swear? I don't know how YouTube works, guys. So we're just gonna find out, I think. Oh my god. So my brain short-circuited because of my hyperfixation on Dan and Phil, because I said we're just gonna find out. And honestly, you probably wouldn't have noticed that, but that was a reference to Dan and Phil, which was when it was like in the most recent Incoherent video, I think. And like Phil is like, are we allowed to say that? And Dan is like, let's find out. Like, let's just like say it and see what happens. They're just like seeing if the game will get them demonetized. Spoiler, it did. God. But I don't think I want to say like, well, I don't know. Yeah, because I was noticing like Dan and Phil will say, cut. This is so silly. I'm just gonna write it here. Y'all. They will say this word. But they won't say this word. I don't know where to put the asterisks. Wait. Yeah, I was gonna say the longer version. Which I'm sure that they say in real life because they're gay. But yeah, YouTube monetization rules. I don't know if it's monetization or if it's like we'll actually get it taken down. I'm not sure. And for that other one, it might be a slur, so they might actually take it down. But how much does YouTube care? I don't know. These are questions that I don't know the answer to. That's not the nature of my YouTube hyperfixation. But yeah, I guess what I'll say is it's funny that they will say the first one but not the second one. But in the video that I was talking about, he sent a picture of a pasta that was called like fagottini. No, it wasn't a pasta, it was a wine. And he was like, can I say that while I get put on a list? And then showed a screenshot of him having Googled, like, I don't even remember, but it was like basically the answer was saying something like Google allows homophobia or some shit like that. Like, they will not take your video down and put you on a list for homophobia. And so then they put that text, the funny iMovie text with it just said no sparkles. That's the kind of editing that I think is funny. Yes, so I will be good at it, but not for like another like year or two probably. But yeah, stay hype for that. But yeah, what you can expect on this channel is more of a list that I'm glancing at in order to stay on topic. So get hyped for that, but until then, I will continue just turning on the camera and saying whatever the fuck I say. I'm pretty sure that I was in the middle of saying something else when I started talking about that, but the main point that I'm making is basically hyperfixation is really fucking weird. If you relate, let me know. And happy birthday to me tomorrow. And everyone take one last look at my cat. Here she is. Yes, you. Yes. Happy my birthday to all, to one and all, and to all a good night.